Hello, dear friends. Today we're going to paint a blue spruce together. I wanted to create a winter-themed tutorial, but I didn't want to go with something too common, like a traditional Christmas tree or ornaments. So I decided on a blue spruce. You can always add your own creative touches later. I chose a blue spruce because I thought it would be more interesting to experiment with colours and find the right shades. Of course, you can paint any kind of spruce you like. If it were green, most people would just grab any green paint they have. But here we'll explore colour mixing. For this, we'll use Caput Mortuum, a purplish brown tone. If you don't have it, no need to buy it. Mix a brown with a bit of purple, or try other combinations. Next, we'll need turquoise or azure blue. Avoid neon-like or overly bright blues. Ultramarine is also a good choice for shadow areas, though you'll want to mix it with a bit of green or emerald for depth. For the darkest shadows, a combination of violet, emerald and brown will work great. These three colour mixes will be the foundation of our palette. Now, onto the tree's structure. A spruce resembles a cylinder, with branches that grow mostly upward or outward. Visualize this cylinder to help position your branches. The centre is the trunk or axis. Some branches will face directly toward us, appearing as simple dots or short lines, while others will fan out at angles. Think of each branch as a collection of small elongated shapes where the needles grow. Sketch the central axis to mark the height and overall form of your tree. In one version of this painting, I use larger, more prominent branches. In another, I made the branches finer. You can choose the style that suits you best.
Christmas is all about. I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
Chestnut roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. It's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Chestnut roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. Although it's been said many times, many ways.
Let's begin by preparing our colours, mapping the shape and bringing this elegant blue spruce to life. For some inspiration, when I'm unsure where to place a branch, I look at a photo and choose a nice branch to incorporate into my painting. I copy about 30% of the branches from the photo and fill the remaining 70% with my own variations, adding those cluster angles. The branches facing us at these angles will simply form circular shapes. However, since each branch has multiple clusters pointing in different directions, they will be arranged very chaotically. Overall, it's not a difficult task, but it does require some time. You can approach this in two ways. Either draw some beautiful branches throughout the tree, and then fill the gaps with random clusters, which is the method I used for my first tree. Or simply fill the entire tree densely with clusters, like colouring in a pattern. The first method allows you to see the overall picture as you gradually add density, letting you place 3, 5 or 10 beautiful branches and then build up around them. This way the branches appear larger and more prominent. Both trees look different, one with larger branches and the other with finer, more delicate ones. Once your drawing is complete, you can erase all the pencil lines. Watercolor paper is usually soft enough that pencil marks don't show through, and it's not a problem if you accidentally stray from your initial plan. The main task was to understand the placement of the branches with pencil, and now you can move beyond strictly following those lines. Your brush strokes might add a bit of variation, and that's perfectly fine. Remember, I used turquoise blue and Caput Mortuum, but you can also use azure or a well-diluted emerald blue. Choose colours that you like and avoid making them too synthetic. Don't go for overly emerald or green tones. The reason I suggest staying within these colour boundaries is that it's much easier to create the branches with a single brush stroke, capturing the branch's direction and flow. In theory, many artists now skip pencil sketches entirely, but I still find it helpful, especially for landscapes with multiple trees or when painting a tree for the first time. Starting with pencil helps you map out the branch directions, allowing your brain to lock in the layout. This makes working with the brush much easier later on. Jumping straight to the brush can make it difficult to understand the angles and density of the branches. The pencil gives you a guide, but it's not your main reference, it's just a helpful starting point. So, let's continue by preparing our colours, sketching our branches, and bringing this beautiful blue spruce to life with watercolour. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave comments. They help the channel grow and motivate me to create more content for you. If you can support the channel financially, check the description below for ways to do so. You can also subscribe on Patreon for exclusive lessons not yet on YouTube, or enroll in group or individual classes to receive feedback and skill development tips. Also, visit my Telegram and Instagram for more interesting and useful content. Now, regarding filling the tree with colour, since the gaps will still be covered, I find it easier to plan where the spaces will remain. Even with layered techniques, knowing where the white areas are helps define the darkest parts. Mix a slightly darker tone from the mid-tone and carefully apply it to the shaded areas to show the needle texture. Use a dry brush with minimal water to add shadows, especially closer to us where branches are more prominent. One side of the tree can be brighter than the other. For example, the right side lighter overall. Don't worry if some branches fade. Use small brush strokes to control moisture. Now, let's continue with our painting. As we progress, some paint streaks remain, but it's important to show that the deepest shadows are under the tree. My paper allows the paint to flow naturally, creating smooth transitions. If your paint doesn't spread as easily, you can gently blend with a brush, to create smooth gradients where the colour fades away. In the third stage, we work with wet-on-wet techniques. Don't worry if you flip the paper. I did it to work on the wet background without smudging. If flipping the paper confuses you, wait for it to dry or tilt it sideways. The deepest shadows are inside the tree and closer to the trunk, where less light reaches and more branches overlap, creating darker spots. At the base, you can add larger dark areas to represent shadows on the ground, similar to how light filters through branches in a photo.
I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.
Avoid making uniform layers. Keep the shadows scattered naturally. Adjust the composition to your liking. Denser areas will make the tree appear fuller, while too many dark spots can make it look cramped. Balance is key. More dark areas mean fewer visible branches. But over-darkening can have the opposite effect. Start by adding some shadows and build up gradually, allowing you to control the intensity. To add realism, use a transparent brown to outline some branches. You don't need to outline every branch, just a few to emphasize depth. This technique adds dimension without making the branches look flat. When everything is ready, you can deepen some areas with a semi-transparent colour to create subtle shadows where branches overlap. This adds depth and makes the tree look more lifelike.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
Chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Chestnuts roasting, Jack Frost nipping at your nose. So I'm offering this simple phrase. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
I can tell you what Christmas is all about.
Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.
If you want to decorate your tree, feel free to leave spaces for ornaments or add decorations as you wish. The technique is simple and can be adjusted based on the size of your painting. Make it more detailed or keep it simple according to your preference. There are many ways to apply these methods, and I encourage you to experiment. I wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing you in the next masterclasses. Goodbye.